Hi everyone, I'm David Griffin.
And I'm Michael Alexis Medina.
And just want you to know this is our review of Arrow, a belated review of Arrow, Season 2, episode...
Better late than never.
Better late than never, episode 19, The Man Under the Hood. And we got some notes here. I normally don't have notes because, I usually, we watch it together and then we review it right away. It's been a few days, got Game of Thrones, got different shows on, so stuff gets jumbled in the head, so I got some notes here to keep me on track. So this was a good episode. There were some issues with this episode. I guess let's start with the issues. Let's start with the negatives. We always praise the show so much. We love the show. This was a good episode. Mm-hmm. This was based off a story written by, I believe, Guggenheim and Jeff Johns, yes, who we know from DC Comics fame. He's the head of DC Entertainment, blah, 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 all that stuff. Great guy. But this felt like Mike, you pointed this out first, this felt like almost two episodes, two different shows even colliding with each other. I'm not sure if it all worked out. Now let's start by, sorry, I got my notes. Let's talk about the Flash stuff, which is some of the biggest things here. We have Killer Frost is introduced. Her name is, I want to say Catelyn because of Game of Thrones. Caitlin Snow and Vibe, Francisco Ramon. These are the comic book characters that are going to be, these are the cast members that are going to be in the Flash series, which is fine. But that scene in the beginning at the warehouse, like you said, it felt a little out of place. So,
that was a problem I had. One of the first things, and I'm not familiar with the actors playing Killer Frost and Vibe. Maybe they're good actors. It's just one of the first things that stood out to me was just the acting was not quite on par with what I'm used to seeing. Now that could have just been directing, that could have just been the dialogue, because the dialogue was pretty weak during that scene. It really just stood out. It seemed a little cheesy, a little. It was just forced. It really, stuck out in a bad way.
Right, even like Felicity, when she came in, and said, "Oh, these are the people I met," blah 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 blah, and then it's like, "Oh, Flash," and then, "Oh, he's hanging out with Iris now." It's like now, granted, I know a lot of you who watch our reviews are familiar with the Arrow series, with Flash and the DC Comics, so you'll know Iris's name, but that's a little bit of fan service. Like if you don't know who, just throwing Iris's name out doesn't mean anything. Because first of all, we haven't met the character yet. Yeah. We know she's cast. She's cast in the series. We haven't met her yet. So it's like just throwing that out there. It felt kind of wasted.
I felt like that was a little unnecessary. I do like the fact that they are dropping all this little Flash goodness in Arrow.
I'm looking forward to Flash. Yeah,
I like that because if anything, it just hints at the future of both franchises. Yes. Because you're creating this whole DC universe. And so I believe there were talks about, was it Our Man? I believe in the future doing something like that. So if anything, I'm excited for that. But the whole, Iris just felt like, it's bound to happen. You're going to see her on the show. Just didn't, it didn't need to be necessary. It didn't hurt anything, but at the same time.
We're seeing Killer Frost. Killer Frost isn't usually a good guy.
No.
Yeah, she's she's usually a villain, but in her story, she goes to Antarctica, something bad happens. So I don't know what they're probably not gonna go that far. I wonder if she's gonna start bad and be good, or be good and go bad, or maybe they'll keep her good the whole time. I don't know what her character's gonna be like.
Yeah, like with most TV shows, films and stuff, they always just kind of like to mess with things or whatnot, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
What was the thing with the sonic gun, the wave gun?
That's the thing. They also make a reference to Dr. Light.
Dr. Light, that's it,
So that was kind of cool. I was excited for Dr. Light. I kind of like Dr. Light, so that could be fun. Hopefully we'll see him. I'm sure we will on the Flash series. But that was kind of cool. But again, that whole scene as a whole just really stood out. And like I said, just not in a good way.
For me, it felt like it was like two shows on top of each other trying to compete. I'm like, wait, this isn't Arrow. As soon as they went in that factory, I'm like, this doesn't feel like an Arrow episode. It feels like we're mixing.
The whole vibe just felt different.
And when I was watching it, please, I know some comics, but I didn't get the connection to Killer Frost into Vibe until I did a little research, went on the DC Comics wiki and looked everything up. So I didn't even know what was going on. I'm like, wait, Catelyn, they met him at Central City.
Yeah.
I'm like, what does that mean? But then I guess you do a little research, you find out. So also I want to talk about Isabel Rochev. Talk about Summer Glau. The lovely Summer Glau is now in the forefront of everything.
Yes, after a long hiatus.
Right, and a lot of you had theories. A lot of you saw pictures of her. Well, I don't know if we should talk about that. Let's talk about that at the end. We're going to talk about something at the end that I'm going to call a spoiler section. Even though it's not spoilers, it's something that's on the web. There's some photos released of characters that will, Summer Glau in particular. We'll talk about that at the end. Now, we do know that Summer Glau, this is not a spoiler, she was twitching at the end, so we know that she's alive. Her eyes are open, like a little blood transfusion. She's twitching, so she has a Miraku in there. So how do you think that all worked out?
No, I was not surprised, obviously, and we'll get to that as to why I wasn't surprised to see that. But it was just cool. It was a great way to end this particular episode. I felt that it was a great episode. I just felt like maybe because the events of last week's episode were just, I loved last week's episode, so I just thought it was kind of a step back. But that's saying that wasn't bad. I really enjoyed the episode as a whole, but like seeing her finally become, like take that next step, you know, definitely had me geeking out for a little bit.
Now for me, probably the coolest part of the episode for me was just seeing Deathstroke in the, I don't know, the underground, his Batcave.
That was my favorite
just the basement
scene
of the
in
club.
the whole episode.
It was just cool. He was just waiting there. He's like, welcome home. They're like, oh crap. And he takes down everybody. I mean,
that's what I loved about it too, because it was just well done, because it was short but sweet. It was to the point. He wanted to make
he wanted
a
the key,
bit of an impact.
Key,
he wanted that skeleton key.
Right.
But he also, I think, wanted to prove a point, which he did.
He just beat everybody. He's like, I took all you guys down, and I know exactly where you guys live. I know everything you are. So that was good. I mean, it's great seeing Deathstroke. I mean, Manu Bennett's doing such a good job. It's great seeing him do his thing. Let's talk about, now some of you said, this is interesting, that Ollie's sister is slowly becoming possibly the new Laurel, in a way.
I can see that,
She's not bad. I like her, but I mean, just seeing her, what was she like again, as we always see her in the bar, she's the only person that works at this club, you know, just, you know, stacking liquor up and, you know, talking it out when, you know, she seems like she's kind of come to terms with everything a little bit more.
Yeah, no, she has. But again, you're absolutely right about the whole like Laurel connection and stuff. Just because, again, she's kind of like become this damsel in distress. And I understand she's not really a superhero. She's
even though she's called Speedy, she's not Red Arrow. She's not Speedy.
I just think right now there's just, I don't know if it's just sometimes they're a little heavy with the drama to where it's almost a little cheesy. Like with the whole like, you know, oh, so your dad knew all along that you weren't his daughter. Like that's just kind of laying it on a little thick. You know, for me at least. But again, it's just she's not really serving a purpose other than just to create some drama right now. And I do like her, and I want to see her more. I definitely like her more than Laurel. But yeah, she's kind of borderline.
And Laurel was more proactive in this episode. Do a point. It's still, again, it's
Is
so
it
silly
enough?
because this is the comic book world, so we know this is how it is. But when she was recalling when she's seen her sister, like when they were together in the previous episode, when she Birds of Prey, or 2 episodes ago, when she saved her, and she like looked at us like, oh, that's who that is. Like, really? Your sister has blonde hair, that dimp, you know, the cleft chin. Like, you really didn't know that was her? I mean, I know it's a comic book world. Clark Kent puts on the glasses, you know, what? You know, but it's just, it's fun. I mean, she was being a detective. It seems like, I thought she was going to go dark side. It seems like she's letting everything go. Like, she knows who everybody is, and she's accepted. Like, she hugged Ollie and said, you know,
But it'll be interesting to see where they go from there. Because, like you said, I mean, she kind of made amends with it. You know, she's like, I'm just going to take my dad's advice, who just said, like, you know, it shouldn't matter who the arrow is. You know what I mean? He's a symbol, and that's all that really matters. Again, I think it's interesting that her dad still hasn't quite put those, you know, pieces together. But whatever, that's
Dad
something
said,
else.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know who he is.
So it's cool that she kind of was just like, well, she's at peace, she's cool with it, but is she really good with it? Like, I can't see her just like walking away being like, I'm good, this is it. You know, because like, where do you take this character from there? I know we've been talking since like, you know, last season about her becoming Black Canary. Is it going to happen? Is it not? I still think there's a chance that it could.
No, not a lot of you out there are thinking that might not be a good idea, because Lotus is that interesting right now. You know, I think her name's Katie or Loltz, or I don't want to mispronounce her name. The actress who plays Black Canary is doing such a good job with that. She's really good. So keeping on the ladies, so we're going to go into, I don't want to call it spoiler territory because this stuff's out on the web. We're going to start talking about possibly what could be happening in future episodes that we've seen photos of online. So if you don't want to know about that, I suggest maybe you get off now. So specifically, we're going to talk about Summer Glau's character, Isabel Rochev. They basically made her a combination of a few characters. So let's talk about, there's 2 characters here. There's Isabel Rochev, and there's also Rose Wilson, who is Slade Wilson's, Deathstroke's illegitimate daughter. Who mostly has run-ins, it sounds like, with Teen Titans, from what I've seen.
Well, first of all, we should say she's Ravager.
So we've seen the photos of her. Now, Isabel Rochev in the comics is not Ravager. She's the head. She is the queen of Queen Industry. She does have beef with Ollie. She did have an affair with her father. With Oliver's father, Robert Queen. And has vengeance on Ollie. But she's not Ravager. Now, Rose Wilson is Ravager, and this is an interesting thing. Just doing research, go to the DC Wiki, look that up. So much good stuff on there. There's been 4 different Ravagers.
Slade started off with his son. That's kind of like what kicked off and kind of made Slade Deathstroke to begin with.
And then there's a brother-in-law or brother or something that had some beef with them. Then there's just like a Ravager that was in like a Batman comic, and now there's Rose Wilson, his illegitimate daughter. So they're combining two characters. What do you think about the whole combination of the two characters there?
Again, it works for me just because, I mean, Isabel Rochev is a cool character, but is she, at least for TV, for this universe, is she a strong enough character to kind of stand on her own? I think we saw it with Billy Wintergreen last season, as you know, if you're familiar with Deathstroke, it's kind of like his Alfred, you know, in the comic books and stuff. So they kind of made him like his partner in crime, you know. So I thought that was kind of cool, kind of good fan service, just to get his character in there in the first place. So I thought this was a good idea because, I mean, the show isn't Deathstroke. You know, it's not called Deathstroke. So
it's not his show,
you're not gonna, you don't have the time to, you know, introduce his son and go that route. So I think, you know, kind of cut to the chase. I love Summer Glau on this show, so I'm excited. I have no problems with it.
And I still kind of think that she's not going to be his daughter now, because they went into her backstory. So she was already having an affair with Robert Queen before the island, before Deathstroke ever met him. So I think she's going to be Isabel Rochev.
Yeah, absolutely.
But she's going to also be Ravager now that she has all of her, the Mirakuru inside of her. So that'll be interesting. I mean, again, we're getting towards the end. We only have 4 episodes left. We're almost there.
And let's not forget Roy. That was big stuff right there, because, I mean, you know, in the last episode, he takes off. He just can't handle with the pressure. Can't handle it anymore. And so this episode, we find out that Slade and Isabel have captured him. And they've got him tied up to that machine. I forgot what it was called in the episode.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Basically, it's extracting the blood, which has the Mirakuru, and injecting it in all these soldiers. You know?
I mean, he's had an interesting arc, but we don't really know where he was going.
That's,
We see him leaving town, and they captured him, but we don't know where he was going. I wonder where he's planning on going.
And it'll be interesting to see, too, what happens to Roy, because will this affect him in any way? You know, like, because I know Oliver was able to get him, I guess, detach him from the machine before any real damage was done. You know, I mean, I think enough was, you know, still going to happen, but regardless, it'd be interesting to see if this affects him in any way, because he's already kind of mentally messed up anyways.
Yeah, definitely. And two, you know, you and I both like the, it was interesting you were talking about the beginning of the episode. About how it was interesting to see Arrow Team go on the offensive.
Absolutely.
For the first time. They actually, instead of waiting for stuff to happen, they actually went after Deathstroke, or at least Queen consolidated.
Exactly. Well, like I said, you know, Slade has become this cerebral assassin. And
yeah,
has really been attacking Oliver in different ways. You know, so for them to kind of finally be like, look, this was actually, I believe, Felicity's plan, you know, to kind of go ahead and do
that
this.
was pretty funny.
So which is kind of fun seeing her actually go out in the field and stuff. But yeah, for them to kind of take it to Slade and in turn kind of provoke Slade to attack them was kind of cool. You know, at least it shows that they're fighting back. They're done being, you know, pushovers and stuff. So, you know, how that plays out, we'll see.
So, I mean, you know, again, we're almost done. 4 episodes left. Will, you know, Moira become mayor? That's what everybody wants to know. That's the big question.
That's what everybody's talking about.
Who's going to win the mayoral race, you know, the campaign? Also, you know, Deathstroke, we're going to see the big battle. I know we keep getting teased, but we know the big battle is going to happen. We have, if you're still here, you've already seen our spoiler section, so we're going to talk about it. We're going to see Ravager is going to come. We're going to see what Isabel's going to do, what that battle is going to be like. Maybe they'll keep her around. Maybe she'll turn good. Maybe Slade will turn good. I don't know. We'll see. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of good times to be had. I think they're going to go straight, 4 more weeks straight. No breaks. No like 2 or 3 weeks off, thank goodness. So thanks for sticking with us. Our review for this week. Let us know what you think. What do you think about the whole, you know, Isabel Rochev thing, the whole combination of her and Rose Wilson and that whole combination. Let us know what you think about, you know, the Flash actors. What do you think about their introduction? Was it Mike and I thought it was a little forced? Didn't really blend in with the episode well, but I'm excited to see them in the Flash series. I just don't know if it worked.
Hopefully that won't transition to the Flash. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better.
Right. So, you know, as always, you can come find us at thinkhero.com. We're also on Twitter if you want to come ask us any questions. Dennis, me, Michael, just ask us anything about DC Universe, what favorite comic book movies you want to see. You know, Spider-Man's coming out pretty soon. You can find us at ThinkHero. I'm at Griffin DE.
And I'm at Mr. Michael Alexis.
Yeah, also check us out on this YouTube page here. Make sure you subscribe, like it, spread the word. We're at Think Hero Pro. And also on Facebook, we have a Facebook page, and that's facebook.com/ThinkHeroFans. So this, again, spread the word, social media, and we will see you next week.